Well, hello Space Engineers, and welcome back. I made the trip down here, all the way down here, back to the ground. We're over here at our production facility simply because I thought it'd be a good place to start. But we are currently out of silicon, and we need to go looking for more. And while I'm down here on the ground, I might go poke around at a few other things just to see what we've got, what's where, what's needed, what's not needed, maybe some repairs one or two places. But let me get into things here. I'm going to ignore all that because it's who knows where all that's at. Some of that stuff might be in a different grid. So if some of that's in the large containers I put in my space station way up there, it's not going to be able to get to its destination. Space credits, I'm not worried about it not having a place to go. Iron can't reach its destination. That's normal. That is probably full of iron as well. Well, I say full, has a lot of iron in it. And, well, you can't really see it, but the rover down there might have some iron in it. But that's all the stuff we're making. You know, as you can see, you can tell it's saying it needs more silicon. And let's see, I might up that quota on that. Let's see if I can't find it here. So up that to 200. So that reset itself. So we've got things parked here. Let me get down here. And I'm going to take this big ugly thing out because it's got a large grid ore detector on it, which has a lot more range than, let's see, let me turn that off. And this was, I built this early on for those who haven't been keeping up. This is mainly to have a large grid ore detector to look for stuff, as well as maybe a little bit of storage, and simply to see if I could actually make something somewhat small and large grid that flew. It's ugly, but it kind of sort of works. It doesn't have the lifting capacity I would have liked to have had, but it's useful. Let's see. Back into here. Need to turn those on. Let's turn that off for recharge. Let's go ahead and turn that on. Let's turn that on. Let's see, and I don't have any silicon marked. I had a couple of boulders on the surface I was getting it from, and that did pretty good for a while now. I don't know what these two are, so I'm going to go poke around there, see what's there. We've got magnesium. It says we've got iron right over here. I bet you that is a rock or a stone on the surface. Yep. It looks like I've already been there a bit. It looks like we've got another stone, so we could get some silicon going from there. Let me kind of mark that. It'd be nice to find an actual vein or mine versus just stones. See, where's my, hold on, where's the other temp? Over there. I might ignore that one for now. No telling what these were marked for, and I can't remember. What's the range on that set to? 1.5. And I don't have any specific direction I'm planning on going right now to look for stuff. It's saying iron right there, huh? There's nickel, looks like a stone. And that iron is not popping back up. When you stretch your ore detector out as far as I've got it, you start getting some weird stuff to pop up. Yeah, so that iron's not showing back up. Well, I don't know what that was marking, but we are going to ignore it because we don't see anything. I mean, there's that nickel. I'm not worried about nickel. And I'm randomly picking this direction up over here to go. Check these hills and mountains. There's silver. I'm not worried about that. Cobalt. Not worried about that. I've got a few stones around with silver, I think, marked. And I definitely have a cobalt mine. Well, it looks like this flight, this search, might take a while. So, don't know if I'll do a speed up thing, maybe not. Probably won't do a speed up thing. So I'll just cut the camera, do some flying around, see what I can find. Well, after some searching, I think it was around 30-40 minutes. I didn't keep an exact time on how long it took me. But I was able to find some silicone that was not just a stone. I'd found a few other stones laying about. I might have a few. I think I turned everything off except for those. You can see it's about 25, 27 kilometers away from where I've got everything else. There is some silicone here. And if we go up a little bit, you can kind of see where it's actually marked out on the grass. I haven't been seeing those dark spots around on top of any of the other veins I've seen, but it seems like this one, for some reason at least, is reasonably well marked. So maybe I've just been blind and haven't been seeing them, but it does seem to be this one. You can really see where it's at. Now, let me go down here, because I'd prefer to have an upward sloping tunnel. Oh, and yes, I switched vehicles to something that can actually do some mining here. So I'm using the ore detector here, and I'm going to go until that's a fair amount above me. This may not work out like I'm wanting, but go down a little more. Yep, I've got that. Let's turn those off. I mean, I'm going uphill. I'm not going to be able to coast up there. It'd probably help if you could see. Let's go ahead and turn it all on here. Come on, game. Whoops. That is some silicone. So, let's see. Is that off? I think that's telling me that's off. Let's turn that on. We can turn that on. Then we can go down to info, and that'll tell us how full we are. So we can switch over to mining. And by going at an upward slope, all the stone that we're ejecting is just going to roll back downhill. It won't get in our way later. Take a while for the ship load to update. The update speed on that info screen can be a little slow. And I don't want to fill up all the way. We've got some altitude to go through to get back. Well, I think it's interesting that it can't go forward anymore. But it can slip backwards still. So we're at 83, that's going to be, let's see, do I have? Okay, I only have the one camera. So we can back out of this. We can turn that off. Do that. Let's go ahead and turn off our lights. Get things swung around, pointed back home. But let's see, what do we've got? We've got 2 medium cargo containers plus the drills. So yeah, we're pretty heavy. Well, slowly make our way home, get this thing plugged in. And see where we go from there. Well, we're slowly making our approach back home. It was an uneventful journey. Absolutely nothing went wrong. And we are all back in one perfectly good, fine piece. Nothing went wrong. So we're going to get this parked up. You know, I've got a camera back there. I thought I connected that. Okay, can I get a view that's useful? It's not wanting to roll over at all. Well, it can roll over that way. The problem is I got my connector and batteries swapped, so it doesn't want to connect up. Okay, there I locked it on that time. And I will turn that off. I'll get around to taking care of that later. Let me... We can step over here, find port somewhere, and let's find how we're looking. Those are going to be being noisy as the silicone gets processed. I could probably lose a few of those assemblers now. Okay, I've got a fair amount of nickel. But let's go ahead and jump into this thing. Go 9. We can turn that off. And first let's go down here, because our little miner over here at this place needs some repair. See, I never set this thing up to have separate thrusters, so we're kind of just burned a lot of fuel going over there. This thing's been reasonably useful. Probably not the most practical transport, but it's got a good amount of thrust. And a reasonable amount of storage. Well, I wasn't planning on stopping here, but since we're kind of in the area. There's not a lot going on right here. That can stay there for half a second. So what kind of iron do we have? Well, we've got almost two more containers worth there, large cargo containers worth of iron there. So yeah, iron's not going to be a problem. Didn't think it would be. Wonder if I've got any cobalt here. I can't remember. I might need some. I think that's kind of it for damage on that side other than this, which I'll have to just complete it. Let's see, do I have anything on me? No. I can stuff that in there. It should go through. Yep. Yeah, there's some cobalt in there. And I'll need one of those. Let me grab a little steel. Let's see, it's that yellow think clean. Well, apparently it didn't make that one. Let's see, what do we got here? RC ejectors. Probably here. So now we're looking for that one. Didn't save it. There. But now that can be put back. Let's see, what's my... Yeah, we're still got plenty there. And there's still quite a bit of iron to be had here. It's a bit slower mining it, but there's a lot here still. More of it over here that I haven't gotten too much into. Owie. There's still... Let's see, anything get back here? No. Stuff gets back here. It's not very often, and I don't see anything. So that's all working good for catching stuff. I think I need to set this back up to... That's still on drain all stone, okay. And I think there is... Come on. Let's turn that back on. Yeah, that's still blacklisting stone, so it won't get through there. Okay, we've got that little place straightened out. I don't think there's a lot of iron over here. There's some. Well, no, we've got a fair amount. So yeah. A good amount there to be had also. So let's get back into this. And while we're out poking around, let's go visit the nickel mine. We might do some building over here. Get this set up a little bit better for some mining. At first I had it just a drill, but I think our drill's just about all the way through the nickel. I've got plenty over there now, but if I ever need more, it'd be nice to make sure that I can just run over here and grab some reasonably quick. Let's see, we're already kind of in here. We can take a quick look here. Got our pipe running down still. Our drills are still in place. Let's turn this thing around, get it parked. Take a closer look down there. Let's go here, let's look for... So we are drained of all nickel over here. Somebody left the lights going. But yeah, it looks like that is all the way down past the nickel. There's still nickel to be had right through here. It's just that it's not, we're down past where it's set up. Let's see, how much extension does that have? 8. I might go ahead and drill down the rest of that 8. Then we'll come back. Yeah, let me do that. Finish drilling that the rest of the way. They're going to come back and do some work here to get this cleared up a little better. Make it so mining's a little easier over here in this spot. Let me do that and we'll be back. Well, I've got all that drill taken out. I went ahead and drilled it out. There's only 2 meters left to go down to get past all that piston, and I've got almost all the way past all this nickel right here. Need to be careful I don't have a lot of hydrogen left. But I'm going to continue to build down on this. I do have an assembler over here. It's just a basic one, so it's not going to do a whole lot. Okay, let's see if we can't do that. See if I can't get under here and put that in. And do that. And that. And on top of those, we can put those, and I can fill in around here. We're going to lose a little bit of area over here, a little bit of nickel over there, but we've got plenty, I think, to help funnel stuff down into these. Start welding some of this up. It's going to take a while to build all this with the basic assembler. So, seems like I just got back, but let me get that little bit welded up and built up. I'll be back. Well, I've got that finished up. It's a pretty simple little collection. Whoops. Pretty simple little collection system. There might be some areas where it gets down past and doesn't collect or gets caught, but that's okay. That'll probably get most of it. And I can come in here with a remote welder, remote miner or something and chew away at parts of this, and it'll just drop it down in there. So let's see if I were to just so that's all going down in there just fine. Ow. So I think that's set for now. I could probably get rid of this. Even got a little bit of nickel going through there. Don't know why that's getting in there. That shouldn't be getting in there. Refinery out. It should only be letting ingots and gravel out. Why that ore's getting through, I don't know. Hold on. Don't go all the way down the hill. And now that night's fallen, I need to find my way back home. In fact, I might go all the way over there to the bottom of that. Remote. Let me make sure I'm not taking anything back with me that I don't want. Yeah, I'm empty still. I can probably turn that stuff off now. Well, we've bounced around a little bit down here. We took care of our silicone problem. We've got some of it processing. In fact, it might be done processing down there. We made our nickel mine a bit more remote friendly. We got some repairs done over at the iron mine. We see that we've got more than enough iron if we ever run out, which I don't think we're going to run out. We've got plenty down there still. We've got a fair amount of nickel still, so I'm not really worried about running out of it yet. But we'll be able to get more without much of a hassle when needed. It was a nice little visit back down here to the bottom, but I do think it is time to find our way back up to the top. And get back to work. Finish welding up stuff. Here, hold on, let me get this parked. Come on. There we go. I'm going to turn that on. Hold on. Make sure it's got... I'll go ahead and do that since it's hooked up to power. Let's see, do we have room here? No, we can't really get in there. The oxygen up here is a little goofy, the way it works. Let's see, I don't really need anything up here, do I? Actually, yes I do. Let me grab that. Grab more of that. Make our way over here. See, now that we're back in here, we should have oxygen. I'll go ahead and close, no, leave that open. Get back up here to the top. Now, what I have done also off camera is I went ahead and installed the Force Dynamic Grids mod. I was somewhat leery of that, seeing as how most of this elevator isn't actually connected to the ground. I mean, it's connected to the ground, but it's being held together by connectors, and that's kind of it. So if any of those connectors ever let loose, it's going to come all crashing down. But I haven't had that problem yet. But what that also does is my air seal, my merge blocks there, don't cause me as much of a problem. Let's see, make sure this is all... Yep, exactly what I'm thinking. So now... Let's see, it's been so long since I set that up, I can't remember what that is. What all it does. So it increases that. closes just liftgate 2. Closes that also. And that looks like 3 seconds later. Parking brake, and that's kind of it. I can probably add to that, or this now. Groups. Add to that, and turn those off. So now, if I press that timer, it should launch. Hold on, whoa, that's way up there. Let's find a good angle here. And let's hope that's following the right thing. And let's see if this works now. That looks like that's a partial success. Okay. We have frozen up the computer. That's not a good sign. That's really not a good sign. Yeah, that's frozen solid. Okay, so it looks like the force dynamic grids is not going to work. I tried it again and it got the same thing where it froze up. I went uninstalled that mod and I was able to disconnect the merge blocks and convert it back to a ship through here. So having to do it manually, which is kind of a disappointment, but I think I'm okay with that. Okay, why is that not going? That's on, that's on, that's on. Those did not step up. Boy, I didn't do half of that. Okay. Well, we need to retract that. And now we're on our way up. Well, after a little bit of poking around, a little bit of trouble, we are now on our way back to the top, where we'll continue to work on our station, get things built up, and that is where you're going to find me next time. Thanks for watching.